Hello Internet, welcome back to the Trumps of Twilight. This is the channel where I, Vincent, talk to you, the digital abyss, about books, movies, music that I enjoy, find interesting, or a combination of the two. And today I'm talking about a movie. This is Mike Leigh's new film from 2024, released in cinemas recently. The movie is called Hard Truths. Mike Leigh is an English film director. He usually writes and directs his films. He works with often the same actors, and he's known for making social realist films about English working class people, maybe quite simple lives, but very complex characters. In 2016, he made a film with Sally Hawkins called Happy Go Lucky, which was a film about a very optimistic, outgoing, jubilant, extrovert, friendly, positive person. And this person took this attitude into basically every situation, regardless of the context. And the people around her reacted in ways that was telling about them. And the film kind of follows her through a short period of time where she's trying to learn to drive and she meets a very angry driving instructor. It's a really great, beautiful film. This film, Hard Truths, is almost like the mirror image, like the inverse story, where it's about a woman called Pansy who is played by Marianne Jean-Baptiste. And Pansy is terrified, angry, upset, harassed, unsafe, defensive, aggressive, critical in every situation. The film is really about her family. They are Jamaican English like family living in London. She's married to a plumber who says very little. She has a son who's 22 years old who does very little and says very little. Strongly implied, I think, that he has high functioning autistic traits. And she has a sister called Chantel who is very unlike her. She is a hairdresser, very well liked, socially adept, seems to enjoy people, good at small talk, funny, gregarious. She has two daughters who are quite positive, outgoing people, even though one of them is obviously suffering racism at work. She's trying to kind of put a brave face on the situation. But Pansy, for some reason, can't enjoy a single moment of her life. She wakes up terrified, wakes up screaming, and she spends all day either lying in bed or when she tries to engage with other people, it's a disaster every single time. Now, the film is quite funny. Like, there are these great monologues from the actress playing Pansy, uh, Jean Baptiste. For example, there's one where she's sitting at the dinner table with her husband and her son, and they're silent, and she's just ranting and going from topic to topic to topic. And she ends up angry about the fact that the neighbor has a fat baby who's got a pink bow on its head, as if the neighbor's obsessed with telling everybody that the baby is a girl. I don't care that she's a girl. And the baby's got pockets on its clothes. What does a baby need pockets for? What's it going to put in the pockets? A knife? It's ridiculous. Like, this is what she's like all the time. And it's funny, but the film also shows how deeply unhappy, lonely, um, sad, and scared this woman actually is. So it kind of moves between the absurdity of this extreme behavior and the irrational things that she's saying, and the pathos and the horror of living a life like this. Now, I've said before on this channel that I'm a clinical psychologist. I work as a therapist, and I would never deign to diagnose somebody that I've never met. But Pansy is not a real person. I'm not going to diagnose her, but what I will say is that if this woman came to seek mainstream therapy, and now I'm not talking about necessarily like psychoanalysis or something, but if she went to her local NHS and tried to get therapy, they would notice that she had signs of obsessive compulsive disorder, that she had signs of depression. But I really think that she would be diagnosed with a personality disorder. Now, the reason that I say this is because Pansy has enormous relational issues. She can't let anybody get close to her, but she really feels like everybody is being aggressive towards her, everybody dislikes her. She goes into every single situation and exchange assuming that they think the worst of her and that they feel the worst about her. And her behavior towards them is very much based around this construction of the world as something aggressive, hateful, critical, and dangerous. And what I think is kind of indicative of what people would often consider to be a personality disorder functioning is that Pansy's not able to see her contribution to the situations that occur. Like, she doesn't notice that she initiates a lot of the conflicts that she ends up in, or that she escalates them very fast. She just notices that people are being horrible to her. Now, what I like about this film a great deal is that it doesn't simplify this, and it doesn't try to make it like, it doesn't try to make you forgive some of her worst behavior, but it shows you the huge cost for her of living in this way where she's constantly trying to defend herself and feel safe, but it's just costing her a livable life, and all she really wants is for it to stop, but she doesn't know how to make it stop. There was a Norwegian film last year. The Norwegian title is called Elskling, and in English I think it's called Beloved, which is about a woman who has some similar problems. Like, she has a lot of relational issues and she doesn't immediately realize that maybe she contributes towards these. But what I disliked greatly about that film was that in the course of like an hour and 20 minutes of the film, you see her kind of understand herself and get closure and change in a way that was massively simplified. What I really liked about Hard Truths is that you get the sense of the depth of Pansy's character. Like, it's never really, although it's showing her as sometimes funny, and you can't help but laugh at the extremity and the absurdity of some of what she's saying and doing. It's never really mocking her. You feel deeply for her, but it never really lets you or her off the hook. Last couple of things to say is that Mike Leigh's direction is basically invisible. Like, he kind of sets up the world and the scenes, and then he kind of lets them play out, and then he moves on to the next one, and he kind of moves around the family, so you get a sense of who all these people are, but he really makes Pansy the center of the film. There are also short interludes which are like almost kind of static, with pieces of music playing over them from a composer that he often works with, Gary Gershon, or Gershon, I don't know how you say it, which are like these little moments of kind of brief kind of respite. So I think, if you like cinema, and if you like cinema that's character driven, and if you are interested in films like about that kind of social realistic, I think you'll love this film. And I don't even like social realism most of the time, but I really, really thought this film was excellent. So if you get the opportunity to see it, this one comes highly recommended. I'll be back soon with some more videos. I hope to see you there. If I don't see you there, thanks for listening to this one, and take care.